I'm mainly wondering how many of you guys are fans of the iPad mini. My model right here has an eSIM. I've been thinking maybe I can just activate a plan for it and rock it for a month as a sidekick. If you guys are interested in that, please leave a hashtag eSIM down below. Thank you Goodnotes for sponsoring today's video, and enjoy the show. Yo.
Oh, no way. You got the new iPad mini?
Yeah, dude, I'm just filming the cinematic for it.
Oh, yeah? Wait, ain't this the 7?
No, dude, this is the 7.
I could have sworn it was.
Oh, you're right.
So you've been filming with the wrong one this whole time?
Yeah, dude.
Did we reshoot?
Nah, bro. No one's gonna realize, bro. Come on, they'll look the same.
So what did you shoot so far?
Bro, I shot literally everything.
Everything? Benchmarks?
Benchmarks, everything. But no one's gonna realize, bro.
It's the same color now.
Yeah, it's just a thing, man.
Yo!
Yeah.
We got a problem.
What?
The new one says mini on it.
Ah. Here's a controversial take. iPad mini 7, right? For a lot of people at least. For others, this might just be their first new iPad, the replacement to their current iPad. You might be a professional within a field that requires its portability. Although the important thing is that we lay out all of the facts on the table, because iPad mini could have been potentially the best iPad out of the whole segment. Why do I say this? Well, form factor for starters. iPad mini just offers great portability, and it's practically the #1 reason as to why people buy it, right? I mean, this is a 0.25-inch thin iPad that weighs right below 0.67 pounds. In fact, it's Jan's favorite iPad out of the whole lineup. He brings it when we go on work trips to consume media, keep up with our shoots internally, and whatnot. But aside from a new blue and purple color, you see iPad mini 7 hasn't physically changed all that much, to the point that the unboxing experience is practically the same one. In fact, with that, the volume buttons still sit at the same spot, the double-sided speakers as well.
Just wanna pack up my things and go. Just wanna be free, just wanna zone, just wanna flow, just wanna hang with the gang, but sometimes chill on my own.
The Touch ID button too, and other things like the magnetic connector, the camera, and dual microphones, they still occupy the same place. The USB-C, however, has changed. It's faster this time around, going from 5 to 10 gigabits per second, and I did test the difference using 10 clips to transfer from my SSD with the iPad mini 6 and iPad mini 7, and I won't complain, because to me, this is the perfect design that physically provides the best usability at hand. However, not the best experience. Let me tell you why. I could argue, okay, that a 5mm device like the Pros could have been nicer. I could also argue that Face ID on this would have made it even better. And I love to argue the fact that even though now we get 128 gigabytes of storage with 8 gigabytes of RAM, the fact that back then we got 4 gigabytes of RAM with 64 gigabytes of storage, it's kind of criminal. But my major gripe with this device is not any of that. It's the display. Those bezels, I mean, let's just tell the truth, could have definitely been thinner. And not only that, but imagine having OLED at 120 Hz on an iPad mini. It could have made this iPad the best-selling iPad out of the whole lineup, literally. Look, I say this because iPad mini 7 comes with a 500 nits liquid retina display at 60 Hz, delivering that same 3:2 aspect ratio. A liquid retina screen that I'm happy to say no longer has that jelly scroll the iPad mini 6 had. At least that's our experience with our mini 7 unit. I just thought I would show you guys our proper jelly scroll test. So this here is the iPad mini 7, so just check it out. Now I'm gonna put the iPad mini 6. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's a bit of a difference. It's not totally as smooth. And by me saying this, I just wanna emphasize that there is nothing wrong with a liquid retina display. If this is what you currently have on your devices, it is a great display where colors are accurate and it really doesn't require an upgrade. The problem is that for a device we've been all waiting for so long, right? As someone that genuinely loves what Apple makes, I don't understand why we couldn't get that insane 120Hz OLED display the new Pros have. I mean, I was on Twitter the other day scrolling and I saw the difference between a 2018 iPad Pro and the last iPad Pro. Like, it's absolutely mind-boggling. Apple have developed an insane gorgeous screen that's almost perfect. 500 nits nowadays on a new device from 2024 is cutting it short. More nits for a screen would have been nicer, and I'm not saying that 500 nits is bad. Those aren't my intentions at all, but if you really think about it, like, just think for a second. With all the phones this year that have been trying to push the envelope in terms of screen brightness, we are seeing devices outputting insane nits, right? Which means that most people that buy a device like the iPad mini most likely use a phone that outputs brightness levels that are within the thousands. I mean, this is a portable device that will most likely be taking outdoors, right? Imagine now being used to something like a Pixel Pro outputting 3000 nits and then hopping on your iPad outdoors at 500 nits. Imagine the difference. I'm just saying, like 2000 nits OLED 120Hz would have been a solid upgrade. The same goes with the refresh rate, and I get it, most people don't need that. That's a theory that I support in most use cases. However, as tech advances now in 2024, there are phones like, for example, the Nothing Phone 2A that outputs 120Hz. People are starting to get used to those refresh rates. So I would expect a product like the iPad mini to adapt to the market and even beat the market with their own beautiful OLED display, especially since it's a device that now supports Apple Pencil Pro. An incredible idea from Apple, very well done. However, I don't understand why you guys just didn't implement that 120Hz refresh rate for Apple Pencil Pro to just be a better experience. The mini is like the iPad that will see all sorts of users like graphic designers, heavy note takers, project managers and designers, especially for homes and commercial real estate. I feel like that refresh rate would have attracted so many more buyers to buy this device. For those who are not aware, the Apple Pencil Pro was introduced with the latest iPad Pros. It's a pen that offers better low latency and adds features like the squeeze gesture, gyroscope, and custom haptic feedback. I think the biggest feature that people really seem to enjoy the most is the haptic feedback with the squeeze gesture. It honestly really does feel incredible. Like if you are someone that uses Goodnotes, it's a feature that's very much useful within their app. So if you happen to take a lot of notes for school or work, or you are digital planning, an Apple Pencil with Goodnotes is probably the best setup you can have. In portrait mode, an app like Goodnotes fits extremely well. That 3:2 aspect ratio is enough for note taking, more specifically if you care about portability. Now, if you care about having the best features within an app, Goodnotes is again what I've always recommended since I was a student. Goodnotes is one of those apps that can completely replace pen and paper and has integrated AI features that actually make life easier, not just for the sake of it. One of my favorite features is Ask Goodnotes. To be able to summarize a page of handwritten notes is incredible. Ask Goodnotes is able to understand typed text, handwriting, images, and hand-drawn sketches. It's a feature that can help you study by formulating quizzes related to your textbook or find answers to questions from lengthy meeting notes. They have a ton of other cool features too, like Math Assist. It intelligently allows you to solve math problems in a second, and Goodnotes Smart Ink, which enables you to organize your notes extremely effectively, removing and adding words within a paragraph like you would with typed text using cut and paste. It's as seamless with handwriting here. The tape feature is also pretty useful. It's one of those features that allows you to study effectively and can allow you to reveal keywords within diagrams you need to memorize for an exam. I could really go on and on forever. Goodnotes has released over 40 new features this year, all focused on enhancing the digital note-taking experience and increasing productivity and creativity. It really is an easy way to stay organized, make studying fun and effective, or just capture creative ideas. And I think together with Apple Intelligence coming soon, you'll be making the most of the new iPad mini. Look, whether you're using the older iPad mini or the new one, or you simply need a great note-taking tool like I used during my 4 years of university, I suggest you check out the link down below for your free download or get a year's subscription for just $9.99. Aside from students that will use this for interactive learning, note-taking and whatnot, there's one thing I do want to say. No matter the new design or the new upgrades, there are so many people out there that will just benefit from iPad mini. In general, this form factor is incredible, right? For a lot of people, the use cases you can get out of this are absolutely endless. I remember last year I went to Portugal for Afro Nation, and a lot of employees were either collecting data at booths with an iPad mini or as small payment terminals. I don't know, I feel like most of us think about these tablets from only an average consumer perspective. But if you take a second to just think about it, a form factor like this can be ideal in many enterprise scenarios. I'm currently in the process of buying a house, and with all the visits I've done, I can see how good of a device that would be for realtors. Showing property listings, property documents, managing property data, visual tours. John's brother, for example, who's a nurse, it could be a great device for him to access patient records and medical references. It almost just fits in pockets and it's ready to go when needed. And the funny thing is that it makes this device the only iPad to be truly used outside the creative space. I mean, think about it. A lot of people, like pilots online, love to rant about how good their iPad is. I can't imagine having such a portable device for flight planning, navigation within aviation apps, and even weather monitoring. I truly think while it's a small market, a lot of businesses appreciate Apple trying to keep their foot in the door. As for the cameras, these are definitely way more than enough for taking pictures. In fact, I'd say it's a great tool for scanning documents. I'm a bit of a mess with my bookkeeping, and I've been thinking that maybe rocking an iPad with me, since it's so small, would be a great tool to scan receipts at the end of each day. On iPadOS, it's so easy. I mean, you literally just open the Notes app, you create a document, tap on the paperclip icon, and then you can scan the documents, and you can point at pretty much anything in order to digitally scan it. I'm probably going to go as far as connecting the mini to my local server and saving my receipts in there. Anyways, I think that's just one way of using the cameras, but essentially this here has the same 12 megapixel wide camera at f1.8. It's got the digital zooms up to 5x with autofocus, of course, panorama up to 63 megapixels, auto stabilization, photo geotagging for amateur pilots maybe, and this year they added smart HDR4. You can also record 4K up to 60 frames per second. It's not a bad camera at all for video, actually. It's pretty good if you ever need to record something for work, and it also supports slow-mo video at 1080p up to 240 frames per second. The camera department really is just the same, and that includes the 12 megapixel ultra wide front facing camera at f2.4, although this time with smart HDR4 thanks to the new processor. So yeah, I mean, iPad mini 7 now has a new A17 Pro chip with a 6-core CPU that's up to 30% faster in performance and a 5-core GPU that's up to 25% faster in graphics. It's quite a big upgrade from the last gen in terms of its chip. If you love mobile gaming, this will be a chip that supports all of those AAA games that have been coming out on the Apple Store. And because of its size, I mean, for gaming, this is really nice. I also ran some quick Geekbench scores, and on average I got single score scores of about 2,800 and multi-core scores of about 6,600. It's slightly below the performance of the iPhone 15 Pro, but honestly, so many people won't realize that, especially because iPadOS and iOS are just so different. And one of those differences, for example, is connecting this to a display, because this can support one external display with up to 4K resolution at 60 Hz. It can almost be used as a mini laptop alternative if you really want to do so. I will say though, I did download DaVinci on this and I imported a very complicated timeline. It really doesn't handle it well at all. I wasn't really expecting it to, but very small clips at 4K, it will get by. The A17 also delivers Apple Intelligence support. It also is responsible for Wi-Fi 6E now and Bluetooth 5.3 support. When it comes to battery life, I started shooting this video at around 12:30 p.m. if I remember well. Now, please note that as I've been filming, I've been doing a few things with it, playing with the brightness, running different playback apps, using Chrome and Notion, opening Twitter, Reddit, the news app. I mean, all sorts of apps that I've been using to showcase the iPad, right? And that includes the camera app. From 12:30 p.m. where I began shooting to about 7 p.m. where we stopped. I was literally just editing DaVinci Project on the iPad mini and it died. It died, but I'm just charging it. It's already at 7%. It's 6:37. Not bad at all. And I know this isn't necessarily the best battery life test, like don't get me wrong, but it gives you a bit of an idea as to how long the iPad mini 7 now lasts, especially with all this stuff I've been doing since like 12. So from 12 to more like 12:35, 12:40 to 6:30 with all this stuff I've been doing, we could say we got a battery life of like 6 hours. It's not bad because I've been freaking using it non-stop pretty much. Now this isn't by any means a very accurate test. This is just so I can give you an idea of how long the iPad mini can now last with the things I've been showcasing today for you guys. The A17 Pro chip really is a chip that is able to explore power efficiency properly, in my opinion. I think this on paper and as a first look really is a device with great battery life. Apple really does it best when it comes to that. I will definitely give that to them. But when it comes to lacking features, that's where they sort of fall short this time around. I mean, in all honesty, I've noticed that most people's thoughts are mainly focused on the display. On the other hand, I've seen some comments of people who just don't really care about it. My honest thoughts and opinions about that, I really think Apple could have just attracted a way larger audience by implementing OLED and maybe something like Face ID. I've also seen people wishing this had the same M chips as the iPad Pros. However, I'm not sure if this is the best thermal envelope for that, but I could be totally wrong. You will see a lot of people defending the fact that 60 Hertz doesn't matter to them. Most of those are people who use these as e-readers, note takers, and for casual media consumption. And to their defense, it makes a lot of sense. I think OLED would definitely have added a premium to the price, although I do feel for people who are currently rocking an iPad mini 5 or 6 and have been anxiously waiting for the new one to deliver a better screen. I feel for you guys. More specifically, after the insane panels that like the iPad Pros were just recently released with. For a lot of you, there's not enough to justify the jump from the 6 to the 7. Totally. But for others, this is a great buy for someone who doesn't have an iPad at all and has been looking into getting the mini. iPad mini starts at $499. It's nice that it doesn't see a price jump. The base model now comes with 128 gigabytes, far better than 64 gigabytes, although they might just be too late to the party because I think 256 gigabytes is definitely the better option for a 2024 device. Take it or leave it, as they say. I feel like this is literally that. Although if I had a mini 6, I wouldn't upgrade. If you enjoy our first look videos, let us know down below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you guys really want us to use the iPad mini as a daily driver around the office and just within our everyday lives, I will install a eSIM into it and rock it everywhere. Just leave a hashtag eSIM down below and we'll make that video happen. Other than that, enjoy your Sunday, although this is not coming out on Sunday. This is probably coming out Tuesday. Enjoy your Tuesday, guys. I will see you all soon. Take care.